do 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 do. Charging my attack. Charging my attack. And all right, everyone. So I would like to welcome you to my new stream. As you can see, there is some information up on the screen, but we're not going to talk about that first. First, I want to apologize for being away from the stream for a while. One of the main things that's been going on is actually related to what you see on the screen. Um, I have been writing some novels. I have actually been accepted under two contracts for two of my novels. Those are the two you see on the screen there. I've been trying to play EFAS in my spare time, which I have been doing and continuing to do what I've done. And apparently, they actually appreciated that. And I have been selected for their new Super Alpha version as a private playtest. Um, so the Super Alpha version is completely different because of things with the Super Alpha. I am not allowed to stream it, and because I don't see the need into playing the game twice, I'm not going to be streaming the game for future reference. But what I will be doing is giving y'all some tidbit updates on what's going on. So, one of the things that you will notice with the new Super Alpha is it is a week early release. So, I get the new version a week before everyone else. I know, I know. I wish I could stream that and show everybody, but unfortunately, I cannot. So, we kind of are stuck with what we got on that one. Next, because of that, the Super Alpha will be having a few more bugs, just so I think they don't want everyone to see it, and we will be part of the play testing to help iron out those bugs. Now, I can say a few things I've noticed from just getting to where I've gotten in the Super Alpha so far. It's nice. So they are listening to our feedback. I noticed that prisoners, when you get the prison, are now on a timer. Yay, that was my idea. Um, and they've simplified a lot of the crafting and stuff, which is good because that means way less problematic things to have to worry about. All right, so I'm really excited for all of y'all to continue playing EFAS and seeing the versions as they come out. It is a wonderful game. They are actually putting work into it. And the work can be seen and visibly appreciated over and over. They're adding new maps for the colonies, which I can't show you those because I can't stream it, but you will see them when they are released if you are a player. Um, Now, next, on to what you see here. So, what you see is the two books I am currently writing. Both of these have been contracted. Now, I am actually writing way more than two, and I have been writing for a period of years, but those are not there. So, what I'm going to be doing with the stream tonight, and what I am going to try and continue to do with streaming from now, is I would like you to read my books to you. Um, and you know what? If you like me reading my books, you can suggest other books in comments and messages, and maybe we can pick those up too. Um, Once I am caught up to my current release on these books, I will have to have other material anyways. So, yeah. Um, Now, we're going to start with The Good Gerald White. All right. I have this released under contract on meganovel.com. You can read the free version of it on Webnovel. Um, but that is going to be a couple of days behind, and it will also be stopped at the free chapters as required by my contract. So unfortunately, that is that. But for now, we will continue on. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click the actual novel, and we're going to go in here. It's got 12 release chapters. We're going to start with the synopsis. Gerald was always tormented by his in-laws. His mother-in-law cursed his name, and his brother-in-law harassed him daily to divorce his sister. Gerald would enjoy seeing their faces when they learned who he really was. Now, if that doesn't get you hyped and excited, I don't know what will. Maybe a little handy. Alright, so let's go with the good Gerald White, Chapter 1. Chapter 1, The Good Gerald White, by Just Another Author. That's me. Nestled at the foot of a mountain, a small villa was slowly awakening to a new day. A slight haze of fog was pulling back across the wide acreage and green yard. A yellow sun was painting the sky hues of the rainbow as light cracked the first bit of dawn. Gerald woke up stretching his large 6-foot frame and took a shower, washing the sleep from his brown eyes and trimming the stubble from his face. He stepped free of the bathroom and looked over at his lovely wife, Adriana. He thanked his lucky stars for her. Bright blue eyes fluttered open. She pulled blonde locks from her face and purred, "Come back to bed," flexing her supple hourglass frame under the covers for him. Gerald smiled at her and then stepped into the closet, donning his suit for the day. His wife rolled over and huffed. "I don't know why you bother. They are just going to tease you again." Gerald sighed. "I do it because it needs to be done. What is a businessman without a business suit?" His wife mocked his words. "What is a businessman?" and then rolled under the covers to her belly, letting a bit of her bare thigh show. "Dear husband, you say these things, but you do not even work for a business. Come back to bed and complete your business with me." She was frustrated and he had still not taken her. "Dear wife, how can a businessman not strive to be more?" he said, peeking out from the closet at her again, while tying his tie. "Just ask my mother for a job. She'll be sure to give you one. Stop all this nonsense about starting your own," she huffed. She was tired of him always leaving the house just before dawn, coming back late in the evening, and never having anything to show for it. She did not blame him, though, and she loved. Alright, I'm going to have to apparently put some background music on here because my headset just kicked off. Um, that was annoying. No wording, just because silence. So, uno momento, por favor.
Everything's been so messed up here lately. Pretty sure he don't wanna.
Alright, there we go. Alright, where were we? Ah, yes, right here. She did not blame him, though, and she loved how hard he worked for them. Her mother was always upset she had married this penniless loser, as she always called him. Her father, bless his soul, had liked him though. He was the only man who had ever earned her father's approval, much to the chagrin of her mother. "I'm afraid if you do not show us something soon, my mother will demand I divorce you," she said. Her mother had always had a long line of suitors for her daughter's hand, many from prominent families in all aspects of business. "Gerald, I am worried. You've been at this for 2 years. I have borrowed a lot of money to keep the bills going. I do not know how much longer my mother will put up with this. Please consider taking this job she has for you," Adriana said. Gerald shook his head. "That job has no future, just as your mother wants us to have no future." Adriana sighed. "But they already have no respect for you. I worry about you." Gerald smiled. "Do not worry. Just have faith in me." He walked over and kissed her forehead before placing his watch on his wrist. It was a fine tag timepiece, and left the room. Adriana's family, the Hamiltons, were a decently prominent family in this small section of the country. They owned a few businesses in logistics, transport, and warehousing. Her mother had always hated Gerald. Gerald felt his phone vibrate as he left the front door of the villa. He looked down at the number, frowned, and then declined the call. Gerald got into his small German sports coupe and left the villa. In the car, he saw a troublesome name appear on his phone, or appear as his phone rang again. It was Lewis Hamilton, Adriana's older brother and current head of the company. Gerald sighed and accepted the call. The phone blared before he could even say hello. "Gerald, you useless sack of shit! When are you going to divorce my sister so I can see her happy? If you divorce her right now, I will give you a permanent job at my company and you can live a happy, relaxed life. That is all you're good for, anyways." Gerald did not respond in anger. "Lewis, your sister is very happy." He was cut off. "I don't want to hear your lip, fuckboy. My sister cries every night to our mother about how much she wishes you would find a job. Stop wasting our air. Stop wasting my sister's life. Divorce her now." Gerald was annoyed, but he took it all. He waited to make sure he would not get cut off again. "Has Adriana told you she wants to divorce me?" "No, but she does not need to. I am tired of your useless, good-for-nothing ass wasting our family funds. I do not know what our dad saw in you, but it must be buried so deep it is covered in dinosaur shit," Lewis snapped. When Adriana's father first met Gerald, he was a young teen lad with ripped clothing, shining shoes for spare coins to feed himself on the street. He did not have any family. Her father had him shine his shoes, and he had talked with Gerald for a time. For whatever reason, he liked the boy and offered to raise him and let him marry his daughter. Gerald had met Adriana soon thereafter, and they spent their teen years growing up together. On their 18th birthdays, they were married. 6 months later, Adriana's father passed away from heart failure. It had been 2 years since. "Mother has told me to relay a message to you. If you do not find some sort of employment by tomorrow, Adriana will be cut out of the family business for good, and disowned. And you along with her. Do the right thing. Divorce her first. No one can look any further down on you than we already do," Lewis quipped. Gerald did not respond for a bit, driving down the road. "Are you done?" "No, I have a few pairs of shoes that need shining. Be a good lad and come pick them up later," Lewis added. The whole family loved making him shine their shoes. It was their way of reminding him how he was nothing but a homeless shoe shiner and would never be anything more. Gerald sighed but agreed. Shining their shoes still paid, and he would do anything he could to bring money in and not have to let his wife shoulder the burden. Lewis laughed at him and then hung up. Adriana was head of a small logistics company that has a dozen trucks working for it. Even with this income, Gerald knew they were running on fumes. His phone rang again. It was that same number again. Gerald snarled, but remembering Lewis's words, he decided to hit the accept button. His small sports car sped up while he drove, speeding down the mountain. "What do you want?" Gerald snarls. "Please, sir, come back home," a soft elderly man's voice chimed over the phone. "I am home. I do not have a home there any longer. Do you not remember that, Alphonse? A soft sob was heard from the other end of the line. Sir, your father has passed away. Your mother has lost all will to live. You are the last surviving heir to the family. Gerald cut him off. And do you remember why I am the last surviving heir? Alphonse sighed. I know, sir, but your current situation will not hide you forever. Gerald grumbled. He knew Alphonse was right. What do you want me to do? Alphonse felt a shred of hope touch him. Take over your family's business, Alphonse says loudly. Chapter 2. Family Business. Gerald sighed. Alphonse, the family business is why I am the last surviving heir. Please consider, I have no name, no business, and currently no hope. If I were to take the company now, it would be as good as committing suicide. Alphonse agreed. He had no retort. Sir, then why do we not just build your name? This was exactly what Gerald wanted. It is as if you read my mind, Alphonse. What did you have in mind? Gerald asks. Well, sir, there are some smaller businesses of the family we can have transferred to you. These are long-off subsidiaries, not worth much. It should be enough to get you going, Alphonse continued. I can also have some money deposited into a special Bitcoin account. The family does not have too much floating around, so I can only spare a couple of billion worth of coin for you. Gerald chuckled. It had been a long time since he tasted his family's money. What businesses are you transferring me? He asked. Alphonse was looking at a list. We have a small shipping company that works in your area. They own a tiny fleet of only 10 ships. Their name is Star Ocean Group. This should be enough, right? Gerald heard the name and almost crashed his car. He slowed down quickly. Star Ocean Group? He asked to confirm. Yes, sir. Is that not enough? Okay, then I will also transfer a small logistics company to you. Here we go. This one is also in your area. Happy Sun Transport. I'm going to finish some business here, and I will send some people to help you before I arrive. Then the line went dead. Gerald balked. 2 companies? This was excellent news. Gerald seemed to remember hearing both of these names before, but he did not think much about it for now. He decided to get breakfast and then to return home to his wife to tell her the good news that he had found employment. Back in the villa, Adriana was on a group video conference with the heads of the family and her siblings. Louis was also on the call. We are in trouble, a balding older man said to the group. If we do not land a big contract soon, we will default on all the loans we took out for our expansion. This old man was Adriana's uncle, an older blonde lady wearing fancy jewelry and covering her neck, ears, and hands spoke. This was Adriana's mother and current owner of Reliable Transport Group, Sabine Hamilton. Adriana, divorce your useless, good-for-nothing husband and marry Mr. Roberts. He should be able to help us get a large contract with one of the ocean freight groups. Everyone agreed. Divorce him! Marry Mr. Roberts! Your husband is useless except for shining shoes. He held up a polished pair of Mary Janes to the camera. Everyone laughed. Adriana blushed hotly but said nothing. Louis then said, Your husband is a useless piece of street trash. Why our father took him is beyond me. But it has been years and he has proven time and again he is useless and nothing but a drain on the family. Everyone agreed. A new face joined in. He was a slightly older man with a giant trimmed beard and bushy eyebrows. This was Mr. Roberts. Everyone, did you hear? A giant company has just transferred to our port. Star Ocean Group. Everyone gasped. Louis was the first to respond. Star Ocean Group is a massive shipping giant with a fleet of 10 heavy cargo vessels. They are coming here. Mr. Robert continued. Yes, I just got the docking orders in. His family controlled the docks, and all the loading and unloading had to be approved and timed through him. This was the reason Sabine wanted to marry off her daughter to him. They would have first pick of all the ships loading and unloading at the port. Quick, does anyone know anyone at Star Ocean Group? Sabine asked everyone. No one responded. A thin elderly man then gasped and quickly shouted, Happy Sun Transport just bought a new office near the docks. This was Sabine's brother. He worked in real estate. Happy Sun Transport? Why are they moving here? Oh no, this is horrible. They have over 800 trucks. They could dominate the market, one of the other men who worked for the company said. Everyone quickly paled. The news just got worse. Each truck cost over $500,000. The size of a logistic company's fleet was a show of their power. The Hamiltons' combined fleet was only 160 trucks. While there were many other large families who worked the area, who had much larger fleets, there were usually plenty of work to go around with the ships coming in and out of Fushan port. With both Star Ocean Group and Happy Sun Transport moving in, if they did not score a big contract, they would be done for. The family had taken out a loan to expand their fleet. Lewis paled. Adriana, divorce your husband now. Marry Mr. Roberts. Save the family. Sabine agreed. Yes, daughter, show your mother some filial love and divorce your worthless husband. Your family needs you. Adriana chewed on her lip, but she did not want to marry Mr. Roberts. She loved her husband. Lewis stopped and looked at his phone. Everyone else did the same. All of them were in logistics. Everyone's phone was tied to the contract database for shipments. A large contract had just been updated on the database. Star Ocean Group had just submitted shipments for over 2,000 trucks. But then everyone paled. The contracts were private award only and had to be bid on. They were not open market. Sabine moaned. If we do not get one of these contracts, we are doomed. Can we get 2,000 trucks? No one answered. Even if they combined forces with every shipping company in the area, there would not be 2,000 trucks among them. No one knew how to solve this crisis. Sabine groaned. You are all useless! Does no one have any ideas? Is there not a brain among all of you? Gerald walked back into the house about this time, carrying a bag of breakfast for him and Adriana. He heard Sabine shouting. He walked up behind his wife and everyone saw him on her stream. Lewis howled. What? Fail in life so soon today, bootlicker? And you even had the balls to spend our money on to buy you breakfast. What nerve? And Gerald ignored them. He pulled a small breakfast biscuit out of the bag and offered it to Adriana. She smiled at him and took it, but did not eat it. Gerald, divorce my daughter right now. If you do so, I will give you enough money to move away and never bother us again, Sabine shouted. You have wasted our family's money long enough. It is time you pay for our help and divorce her. It is the only way. Everyone agreed. Mr. Roberts stayed silent. He was at least not tactless enough to fan the fire further. Gerald said nothing and began eating a biscuit himself. Lewis roared at the screen. Don't you ignore me, bootlicker! You are single-handedly ruining this family with your shit attitude, your shit appearance, your shit personality, and your general shit smell. We have smelled your shit long enough. Divorce my sister, move away, and never let us see you again. Gerald ignored him and patted his wife's shoulder. He leaned down and asked her what was going on. Adriana explained the situation to him. Sabine mocked him. Why does a useless pissant like you care? You can't help. You would not know how to clean the toilets of a large company like either of these, let alone help with getting a contract with them. Stop wasting our time and divorce Adriana this instant. In Chapter 2. Alright, so now what I'm going to be doing is I am going to go ahead and start and stop the stream between chapters. This way at least I can update the chapters, or at least every couple of chapters. So, for those of you that tuned in, great. For those of you that didn't, I'll see you on